Have you ever wondered why native English speakers use will and would seemingly interchangeably? Well, there is a little bit of a difference between each of those words, and today I'm going to talk about them so that by the time we're done with this video, you'll be able to use these words naturally in your conversations. Well, let's start with the basics of will and would. Now, you want to think of will as a word that you use when you are certain or you're positive that you're going to be doing something in the future. And it's kind of like you're making a promise that you're going to do it, or you really are planning to do it. That's when you use will. Okay, so for example, I will eat breakfast and then go to work. Okay, you're going to eat breakfast. You're definitely planning that you're going to eat breakfast and you're going to go to work after that, right? Okay, well, you use would when it's like a hypothetical situation or when you really wish that you could do something, but it's not definite. I'm Andrea. If you don't know me, welcome to the channel. One of the most common questions I get from my students is, when should I say will and how do I use would in questions or statements? Well, let me show you how this works. If someone asks you, what will you do for New Year's Eve? Or what will you do on Christmas? They're asking you for your definite plans, what you're definitely planning to do. But if they ask you, what would you do on New Year's Eve? Or what would you eat on Christmas? They're asking you what you prefer to do on New Year's Eve and what you prefer to eat at Christmas. It's a hypothetical question. It's something like what you would like to do, what you would like to eat, right? And then if someone asks you, well, what would be your dream date for New Year's Eve? Well, obviously that one is definitely hypothetical, right? Those cases is when you use the word would. So here's another example. When visiting our hometown, me and my husband would take a short walk downtown. Okay, now that is something that we use would for because I'm talking about something that we did regularly in the past, right? So another one is like when I was in college, I would study at the same coffee shop every weekend. Okay, something that you regularly did in the past would. Okay, now you can also use would when you're talking about polite expressions, when you're saying something very politely. So let's see here. What would a good phrase be? Let's see. I would love to. That is perfect for if someone is inviting you to something or if you're answering an invitation. Also, we would like to. Okay, when you're speaking of a group of you wanting to do something. Okay, and also you can use this in the negative past, right? They would hate to blah, blah, blah when you're discussing negative preferences, right? So for example, I would love to join your team meeting, right? We would love to schedule an appointment with you. Or I would hate to miss that deadline. So here are some common mistakes that you should avoid. So let's look at when to use would and when you shouldn't. All right, well, when talking about a hypothetical situation, that's what I said before, we use would. So if I had more time, I would take the kids to the park. Okay, hypothetical. This is correct because you're imagining a situation and it's not real. It hasn't happened, right? However, for specific past events, you don't use would. So instead of saying something like, every summer we visited my grandparents and they would take us fishing. You could say that, but it's a little better if you say something like, every summer when we visited my grandparents, they took us fishing, something like that. Another example would be every year we visited my uncle's family and my aunt would give me a red letter. Okay, for you who are familiar with the red letters. It's better to say every year when we visited my uncle's family, my aunt gave me a red letter. Okay, so notice in those two examples how we removed the word would to make both those sentences, when talking about something specific in the past, we make it more clear. Okay, well, now it's your turn. I want you to try to make a sentence with the word would. I'm going to give you a moment to say it out loud. Let's just practice during this video. And so go ahead and think of a would sentence. Or let's see, for an example, you could say, I would love to, blah, blah, blah. I would like to, blah, blah, blah. All right, I'm gonna give you a second or two. Okay. Now, I want you to take that sentence that you just said, and I want you to share it in the comments if you would like, and I can give you some feedback on your sentence there, okay? If you found this video helpful, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. Please hit the notification bell so that you will be notified every time I upload a video. See you in the next video.